You're listening to Radio August. Dark Nights with Poe and Monroe.
It's 5 o'clock and I'm Alice Monroe with your August update. August police are appealing for information following the murder of 21-year-old Dorota Shaw. Miss Shaw's body was discovered last night. Chief DuPont is calling the crime a violent and despicable act. Anyone with information about the murder is urged to get in touch via the department's confidential tip hotline. It's horrible, Poe.
Indeed it is.
You need to learn when to keep your mouth shut. Exactly. Rewind.
You're listening to Radio August. Dark Nights with Poe and Monroe.
It's 5 o'clock and I'm Alice Monroe with your August update. August police are appealing for information following the murder of 21-year-old Dorota Shaw. Miss Shaw's body was discovered last night. Chief DuPont is calling the crime a violent and despicable act. Anyone with information about the murder is urged to get in touch via the department's confidential tip hotline. It's horrible, Poe.
Indeed it is.
You need to learn when to keep your mouth shut. You know why you're here, don't you? Then humor me, the dead girl, and this. What exactly were you thinking? You have one job. Don't get caught. Do you think you can do that this time? Splendid. You're going to a town called August. Find Chief DuPont. He's gonna think you're someone else. This person. This is who you are now. Understood? Splendid. If someone so much as sniffs that you're different, you'll be deprecated.
Deprecated.
We expect you to use your ability. Just don't get caught. And never, ever change into a child.
In brighter news, August resident Mia French is celebrating the return of her missing pooch, Barley. The 8-month-old Basset Hound puppy was found outside Daryl's Chicken and Ribs.
And that's 5 o'clock with Poe and Monroe.
I'm Violet. Welcome to the guest house. There are some rules. In particular, no shoes in the guest house. The carpets are priceless. Now, how long are you staying for? That's fine. It's yours for as long as you want it. There's not been many visitors of late. Perhaps the murder will bring some tourists in. It's just you and some tarot readers at the moment. It's deathly quiet. Yes, the murder. You haven't spoken to the chief yet, have you? Chief DuPont. He's the one who booked the room for you. You look lost. You should probably go and speak to the chief. Your room is just down the hall, last on the left. It has its own back door. The chief said that's the way you'd like it.
Just finishing. Yeah, it's a big place. Hi, I'm Bronwyn. Pleased to meet you, Sam. If you'd like a reading. That sounds super. I'm in room 1 and that's down the hall. Lorraine's in 2, Lexi's in 3. And which room are you in, Sam? Good. We're neighbours. Just knock if you need me.
Without much thought, Dimitri blurted out, "We could send a person down there." Then, again without thinking, added, "One of us, perhaps." The others eyed him with concern. "I'm not sure that's wise," said Dr. Remington, clearly echoing the thoughts of the other two scientists.
Good, you got my message. Chief Inspector DuPont. I wasn't sure you'd come, but I suppose you're between jobs? Well, we both know that's not true. But I like it. Sam, that's your cover now. So, the job. Dorota Shaw, 21, accomplished cellist, redhead. Strangled. I know who did it, but I need proof. It's the tarot readers. Because they predicted it. The older one, Bronwyn, she came into my office last night talking all crazy and saying Dorota was in trouble. I did my best not to lock her up. It all sounded crazy to me. Tarot, the spirit world, cards that move, trans-dimensional thingamajigs. To be honest, I thought she'd probably been smoking something, and that's why I didn't take it seriously. Because things, I don't have enough on her. That's where you come in. The free guest house stay isn't free. I need you to work the case and report back to me. Find out things from the inside. Can you do it? Okay. I'll be telling everyone that you've been hired by the Shaws because obviously local law enforcement is either too incompetent or too overworked to solve anything. That gives you a license to talk to people, but only notionally. Don't actually touch people or annoy them. You don't have any real authority, understand? But you help me out, I'll help you. You don't get that. There's no badge and gun, just a hope and a promise. Come and find me when you're settled. This is Second Chance Sunday for you, Sam. Don't blow it. Do I have an alibi for last night? Do I? Okay. I was here, and there are video monitors that will prove it. Thanks for ruling me out, genius. Not much. Perhaps you should do some investigating? Born here, runs the local guest house. Lovely lady. Where are you going with this, Sam? What's she told you? Look, if it's about the pills, I already know. In her bedroom, she was naked, strangled. No signs of sexual activity of any kind. It was a weird scene to look at. There was one thing, but it's strictly between you and me. Dorota had a gold coin in her mouth. I'm being serious now, Sam. Not a word of this. It's the one thing only the killer would know. What do you want to know? She was a cellist, selected for a scholarship at Juilliard. It was in the local paper. I'm more of a Bon Jovi fan myself. Don't read the paper, do you? Yesterday, Monday the 9th at approximately 9 p.m, according to the coroner, we got a call from the mother just after 10 p.m.
Copying all of the writing took longer than he would have liked. It wasn't easy to find some of the small markings in the pitch-black darkness, so the work was tedious and fiddly. Yet the soft scratching on the pencil had a soothing quality to it. It managed to chase away the silence and took his mind off the endless depths beneath him. By the time Dimitri was done with his task, he'd gotten so used to the sound of the scratching pencil that it still lingered in his head. A welcome reprieve from the unnerving silence, he thought, until he realised two things. It wasn't in his head, and it wasn't scratching. They were whispers. Overcome by a sudden and severe dread, Dimitri frantically jerked on the rope. There was no response. As Dimitri kept tugging on the rope, the whispers grew louder, or perhaps they were getting closer. Dimitri started yelling up the shaft. "Pull me up! Get me out of here, please!" He swore he heard laughter coming from down below. As Dimitri's heart was beating in his chest and his stomach started to turn inside out, he tried climbing up the rope in a panic. Finally, he felt the sweet release of slowly being lifted up towards the surface. "Faster! Please go faster!" he pleaded the moment communication was restored. "What's going on, Dr. Sheffield?"
You must be a new guest. Or you're burglaring us. I'm Rain, by the way. Pleased to meet you, Sam. Enjoy your stay. The hot water goes off at 9, by the way, so it's cold showers from there on in. It really bugs me. I was in my room. Praying, actually. I don't believe in God, but I was still praying. It didn't work. My prayer, that the girl would be safe. I didn't know her. I know she was called Dorota Shaw. She was young, had red hair, a talented musician. Next victim? Whoa! Hold on a sec, we don't even know if there's going to be a next victim or not. We'll do another group reading soon, and then we'll have a better idea. We did a reading. A group reading, actually. With a special tarot deck. You get it piecemeal. Not everything in one reading. The last one we did showed a young woman being murdered. Young, talented, probably red-headed.
Hi, Sam, is it? Come on in, make yourself at home. Mi casa es su casa. Come on. The cards told us to. Well, the cards in Rain. Tarot gives us a rough direction and he narrows it down with some astrological jiggery-pokery. He's basically a walking esoteric library. And if that sounds dull, let me reassure you, it is. No? Well, yeah. Well, no. We have a job to do. I didn't say job. I said job. Okay. We make a cheese obelisk, a chob, and depending on the shape of that chob, we get different answers to questions. No, you don't. I was in my room all night with Bronwyn. We were painting our nails. No, I mean, yeah, I've already cleaned it off. She's like my big sister, so pretty well. You know the chief's got it all wrong. Ron could never hurt anyone. But I'm sure a smart detective like you can help prove she's innocent. Ah, That's mean. She didn't do it anyway. Chief DuPont's crazy. I don't know anyone in this town, except for Bronwyn and Rain, obviously, and Violet, and the Chief, and now you. Sorry, I'm a bit nervous. Good old-fashioned fortune-telling. Well, kind of. We drew a card each and smushed them all together. Do you know what the most dangerous tarot card is? You've done your research. The happy squirrel was vague and mysterious, but not evil. The Five of Swords. I think so anyway. There's nothing more dangerous than someone taking whatever they want no matter the cost. Yeah, I did. Rain got the Knight of Wands, that's Dorota, and Bronwyn got the Ten of Swords, which is, well, you know, swords in general are bad.
Sam, is it? I'm sensing you're not here for a reading.
Mercury? It's not exactly from here. With a normal tarot deck, you'd have the question, so you'd be the querent. With Mercury, it gives you the question and the answer. The cards themselves kind of change. It's a special deck. I don't have it at the moment. Bronwyn has it.
Mercury? Sure. I'll just get it. It feels a bit sacrilegious just spreading it out to show you. It doesn't really answer questions, it more asks them. Do you want it to ask you a question, Sam? There's nothing particularly special about it, apart from where it's from, what it does, and how it behaves. Chief DuPont thinks I did it. I'm hoping you'll convince him otherwise. All I'm asking is that you dig a little deeper than the Chief. I had nothing to do with Dorota's death. We saw danger in the cards and we tried to stop it. Trust me, Sam, we're on the same team. In my room, reading, I found a trashy romance novel under the bed. I'm assuming it's Violet's. It's all swooning heroines and brooding vampire Casanovas. Thank God Lexi saved me. No, not at all. Lexi popped in and we chatted for a bit, but that's all. I said the book was trashy. Look at this place. If her guest house is anything to go by, Violet's the opposite of trashy. We saw it in the cards, not images, feelings, impressions. Tarot can be very powerful. Not these cards. They only tell us what they want us to know.
I assume you've been to see Chief DuPont already? tarot readers. I'm thinking of asking them to leave, actually. Demands already? I'm only thinking of doing it. I take clozapine. I think they're for anxiety. I'm a very anxious person. I don't know, Dr. Sam, you tell me. It's the strangest thing. I honestly don't remember. But I imagine I was here or getting groceries somewhere. I've driven by it, never actually been in it. Not really. I'm sure she was a precious lamb, though. Yes, a lamb. Young. Innocent. Lambs get slaughtered, though, don't they? Nice, yes, that's a good description. Actually, I thought she was a bit slutty, to be honest. Sorry. I'm gossiping. I don't want to talk ill of the dead. Ask her boyfriend. Oscar lives at the vicarage next to the church. Don't tell him I sent you, though. I'm sure he's sick of seeing people already.
As always, you've been a great sport today. And we'll be back tomorrow. Cozy.
Hi, I'm Bronwyn.
Company. Between us, we slept in shifts to guard that dumpster and chase the rest of the street off. That spring, we lucked out with a broken fire door, easy access to the stair.
Bron, something doesn't feel right. I don't know what exactly, but it's not right.
Thoughts, Santa Rota?
Well, it's hard to say with just one victim. Musical talent, red hair. If there's another, there will be a pattern. Do you think it's another Wright?
A Wright?
As in the same thing we were chasing after in Birmingham? I suppose it doesn't really matter. Just have to try and stop it.
Stop it? Birmingham? Stop it? Birmingham?
The Traveller? Dead girls? Ring any bells?
Traveller?
If it follows the same pattern as Birmingham, we're looking at 2 more victims.
I watched him jump, red and gold robes billowing in the wind, shimmering into nothing.
Ron, are you okay?
I'm not okay. I'm not okay.
Well, if you're worried, I should be worried. Why are you worried? Should I be worried?
Are you worried?
Only if you are. This could go on in circles for a while. Let's just keep cool and stay in our rooms.
Climb over the 4-foot fence onto the railings below. Arms wide. I dive.
Find somewhere safe to transition. You're not a superhero.
Hi, Hi, I'm Chief DuPont.
Then she cut off her face in front of me.
Who knows whether you've made the right decision or not, Claude?
How's Bronwyn been?
Overly nice. She's covering her tracks well if she has anything to hide.
What was it I asked you to do again?
You just told me to report back to you if I noticed anything suspicious. Good grief, Claude, you're a bit young to be losing your marbles already.
What were you doing last?
Claude, we've been through this. I honestly don't remember. I checked my diary and there's no entry, so I was probably here, as always.
How can you not remember, Violet?
I don't know. Which is exactly what I said in my statement. Don't try and get me to contradict myself.
Dreams
And nightmares.
with Poe and Monroe. So, Helen's written in with her dream, and she said that I was a caterpillar, slowly nibbling on a pair of purple curtains in my bedroom. The sun goes down, and I feel my skin shedding in the darkness. I huddle down and wait for the
Very interesting. It's 6 o'clock and you're listening to Radio August. Police investigating the murder of Dorota Shaw are appealing to the community to help catch her killer. The body of 21-year-old Miss Shaw, an accomplished cellist, was found in her home last night. Police are describing the murder as a violent and despicable act. Monroe?
It's just terrible. Meanwhile, out of respect for the victim and her family, this weekend's Tulip Festival has been postponed. New dates will be announced shortly, so do stay tuned to Radio August for updates.
I heard Dorota Shaw was due to play this weekend.
At the Tulip Festival.
Indeed. I understand why they'd want to postpone it. Tonight the weather will be mostly dry and warm, but be on the lookout for dark clouds on the horizon, as there may be scattered showers. Best take an umbrella, Monroe, so you don't get wet.
I like getting wet. That's 6 o'clock with Poe and Monroe.
Darkness outside of his bedroom window.
It's 6 o'clock and you're listening to Radio August. Police investigating the murder of Dorota Shaw are appealing to the community to help catch her killer. The body of 21-year-old Miss Shaw, an accomplished cellist, was found in her home last night. Police are describing the murder as a violent and despicable act. Monroe?
It's just terrible. Meanwhile, out of respect for the victim and her family, this weekend's Tulip Festival has been postponed. New dates will be announced shortly, so do stay tuned to Radio August for updates.
I heard Dorota Shaw was due to play this weekend.
At the Tulip Festival.
Indeed. I understand why they'd want to postpone it. Tonight the weather will be mostly dry and warm, but be on the lookout for dark clouds on the horizon, as there may be scattered showers. Best take an umbrella, Monroe, so you don't get wet.
I like getting wet. That's 6 o'clock with Poe and Monroe.
They were writing history here. Unimaginable discoveries had been made these last few months. Discoveries he had never dared dream of, much less be a part of. When he and the other scientists first arrived here, their excitement had been almost unbearable. But that initial spark of enthusiasm had faded, like a falling star in the night sky. On the morning of his 249th day on the moon, or was it night? It was hard to tell up here. Dmitri boarded the elevator to the excavation site, as he had been doing for the last 248 days. He was joined in the elevator by the other 3 members of his scientific team. Dr. Ian Remington, Dr. Hanako Yutani, and Dr. Wolfgang Whitfield were all experts in their fields, those being paleontology.
Your ability isn't endless. It will run out at some point.
Hello, I'm Violet. I'm Violet.
To go on for several kilometers into the ground. Its edges were most unusual to a molecular level. Natural formation. But neither could it have
Violet?
been 8 million years ago, long before the dawn of the first man. This was one of the few things they had been able to ascertain about their mystifying discovery. If it did. Is it really wise to send more probes down the hole? Dmitri asked.
Who are you? Right, because the local police are so rubbish. It's been a day, a whole day. It's typical of them. Yeah, I went round there in the afternoon. Her parents were at work, and we were, hanging out. I left at about 5. Playing football. It's just 5-a-side. Finished at about 9:30. I called her, but she never picked up. Not long, a couple of months maybe. We did care for each other. No one. She was really popular. What, you mean watching us? That's disturbing. No, it couldn't have been. The only place you could have hidden would be in the closet, and I suppose someone could have hidden in the closet. Not hidden. Well, she liked it. Liked me to watch. Not other guys, just she had these, voyeur fantasies. She'd ask me to hide in the upstairs closet, and then she'd walk in and strip off, start touching herself. She got upset if I came out before she'd finished. I'm sorry, is this helping with the investigation? Clothes, mainly. I did see something that freaked me out a bit. She had a wedding dress in there. She knew I'd seen it, but we never talked about it.
Not even as a joke. Not much. They always seemed happy to see me. I don't think they meant it. They wanted Dorota to focus on her music.
Communication, just... The rest was...
Any more news on Oscar Wainwright? Just the tarot readers. No one else is remotely suspicious compared to them. Oscar? Have you spoken to him yet? It's not him. Yep, that's what he told me too. Not a suspect. Rain says he was praying in his room, alone. Nobody corroborates. Bronwyn and Lexi say they were in the same room last night. Shame they can't agree which one. The tarot readers mentioned Birmingham. You're looking into it. There's some talk about a traveller, whatever that is. Oscar's not a suspect. He was playing football last night with lots of witnesses. According to Oscar, Dorota had a wedding dress in her closet, which is strange. Violet says she doesn't remember last night, but I've got that in hand. That's it.
Dr. Utani, if you're hearing this, prepare to make history. You're going to have a field day with this. I'll be sure to get some pictures for you. Dimitri, fully aware that he was suspected.
Vicar's son? No, as far as I can tell, Oscar is a good boy. But we've all got different faces now, haven't we, Sam? The masks we wear. I could be a satanic cultist behind closed doors, but you'd never know, would you, Sam? She flaunts herself, her body, had boudoir photographs taken. Who do you think those photos were for, Sam? Her mother? Not really, just gossip. Apparently she went to have some portrait photos done and started stripping off. Weston's photographic. Zach Weston. He'll get himself into trouble one of these days. If you keep taking pictures of pretty girls in their underwear, somebody's going to get upset. Zach's the local photographer. You should go and talk to him, Sam. You're good at talking. At Weston's photographic, off the high road. It's late, but he's always there. I have a good memory. I'm still holding grudges from when I was 4.
He pleaded the moment communication was restored. What's going on, Dr. Sheffield? Dr. Whitfield's voice was mute.
I'm Oscar. Is there anything else I can do?
Or worse, being declared mentally unfit. He had already...
Oscar Wainwright, what a surprise.
This even meant the whispers were on a wavelength that couldn't be picked up by a microphone. Much to her delight and gratitude, it appeared the writing consisted of one word.
Oh, she gets easily confused. Youth of today. Fine. Jeeve Dupont was breathing down her neck, so we thought it would be simpler if we stuck together. If these walls weren't separating our rooms, then technically, it'd be true. To protect Lexi. None of this is her fault and she gets anxious easily. I was just trying to take the pressure off. I'm sorry, Sam. I never usually lie. Rain's a big boy. He can handle himself. Besides, I'd be highly suspicious if Rain claimed to be doing anything else other than reading on a Monday night. That's pretty much all he does every night. Yes, he came to see me. He wanted to know that she was okay, spiritually speaking. No, I wouldn't know how. I'm a tarot reader, not a medium. Maybe I should have pretended, though. Made up some fake message from her to give him some comfort. I don't actually believe in the spirit world. Well, not as you know it, anyway.
There shifts. Is anyone here? He asked and waited. Again, there was no...
Hi Sam, back from more already? I didn't. How did you find out? Am I in trouble? It was only a little white lie, nothing else. It wasn't even that much of a lie. We're both here, in the guest house. We just happened to be in different rooms. If I had proof, Ron wouldn't have made this all up. I'm sorry, Sam, I really am. I know how this must look, but I couldn't kill anything, honest. Traveller? That's a really old role-playing game, isn't it? Oh, did he now? Well then, you know what I know. I guess you must be a part of our inner circle. How does it feel? Cheeky? Are you flirting with me? Oh dear, am I blushing again? There's a murder to solve. Maybe you should do that first, then me. No, not like that. No, I think Bronwyn met him though. You'd have to ask her, or him. It's not my place to say.
No sound. He reached for his throat and felt his skin peel away.
Sam, what can I do for you? We're trying to save people. I said we're trying. We have a gift. We have Mercury, the tarot. It tells us where bad things are going to happen, and we try and stop them. Birmingham. We couldn't save anyone there either. The problem with travellers is... Well, let's put a pin in this one, Sam. Let me ask Bronwyn. If she says it's okay to talk about it, it's okay to talk about it. We didn't. Lexi used a Ouija board to get the name. It kinda did. It's hard getting an exact name out of 78 cards. But considering we'd never heard of Dorota Shaw, it painted a pretty good picture otherwise. No. Lexi needs to give it context from the tarot reading. A lot of the time it comes up with nothing. Or a sordid comment directed at Lexi. I think that's why she keeps using it, to be honest. Once we thought there was going to be a murder, Lexi used the Ouija board to find out the victim's name. It spelled out Dorota. Just... This is going to sound weird. Most people believe Ouija boards contact the dead. So if Lexi contacts a dead person, that person needs to know what happens in the future. Ergo, maybe the person she's contacting is from the future. A time traveller who died here. You don't believe me? Well, ask Lexi, or Bron. They've got their own ideas, but my theory is definitely the more plausible.
Remington asked with some trepidation. Dimitri tried to find... behind, and everyone else will be gone. I'm going to die here alone.
Oh, it's just your run-of-the-mill spirit communication device? Want to know how it works? Cool, okay. So Ouija boards send us messages from the spirit world, right? But where is the spirit world? I mean, there's planets and stars and space. The spirit world must be really far away beyond all that. With so far to travel, messages from the spirit world must take ages to get here. Like how light from the sun takes 8 minutes or something to reach us. You still with me? Oh, you're sweet. Where was I? Oh, so here's my point. The spirit world is actually several hours ahead of us. That's how we get messages about things that haven't happened yet. That's how we got Dorota's name. Because in the spirit world, she was already dead. Yes, it does. You just don't understand.
Nights with Poe and Monroe.
The Bag Lady by David F. Schultz, read by Venomous Platypus.
It's 7 o'clock, and here's the latest August update. Chief DuPont of August Police is urging residents to be vigilant tonight following the brutal murder of 21-year-old Dorota Shaw. Whilst he stresses there is no immediate threat to the community at large, residents should be on the lookout until the killer is in police custody. Miss Shaw was found strangled in her bedroom home last night. Poe, I heard she was found by her mother.
Truly awful. Mother caught me up to all sorts of mischief in my bedroom. Also in the news, emergency services were called to the crossroads at Grange Avenue and Church Street following a collision between two cars. There are no reports of any serious injuries, but you might want to take a different route for now.
Oh no. It's going to be one of those nights, Poe.
Stick with me, doll. I'll keep you safe.
I'm not going anywhere. That's 7 o'clock with Poe and Monroe.
Morphing. The robes were fish scales, briefly, but
Sorry, we're closed. Come back tomorrow or make an appointment online. Yes. What do you want? I already told the police she did all those things of her own accord. I didn't force her to do anything. Oh! Dorota Shaw. Sorry, I'm afraid I didn't know her that well. Here. I'm usually here most nights. Only the roof rats. Friends? Yes. I know Violet very well. Violet takes it very well, actually. I like him like that. With a frosty exterior comes a soft, warm center. I'm sorry my analogy wasn't explicit enough for you. Yes, we have sex. For the August Chronicle, she won some sort of award. I remember her cello. It kept reflecting the flash and ruining the shot. No, I went to her house, along with the reporter. It's better with these human interest stories to capture them in a natural habitat. If you asked me to drive there without my sat-nav, no. No, actually, I've been running a special offer on portraits since she came in for a studio session. Wait there. As you can see, there's photos here. Her on the cello. Now this one's in colour. Beautiful hair. Oh, legs wrapped around. Another one here. Oh, hang on. Do you see what I see? Nothing. She's just a very attractive girl. That's all. What do you mean? I don't think I like what you're implying, Detective. Is that all?
Phantasm of nightmares, fraying at the edges. The ability to understand human perception. The entity was...
No? Who's that? Okay, so this Zach guy was connected to Dorota. Took pictures of her. Were they sleeping together? You can tell me if she was. I don't care. Look, I mean, if you're going around asking all these questions, if you find out anything like that, I'd want you to tell me. She's not a case, she's my girlfriend. Please, if you find out anything at all, let me know. You walk away at the end of all this, but it stays with me for the rest of my life. Her what? Boudoir photos? She sent some private photos to me by phone. Do you mean them? I get it now. That's why you were asking about Zach Weston. Maybe I should pay him a visit.
Hadn't yet decided, and was curious about starting with feet. So I left and observed her, the bag lady, as I went, and relayed my thoughts through the worm. A new life with the bag lady.
Do we really have to? How vulgar. Yes, I suppose that is what he'd say. But I've never let him lay a finger on me. He says we're in a relationship, but he doesn't act like it. He says he loves me, that I'm the only one for him. A rose by any other name? I don't think so.
Not this one. What's special about this one? The answer was nothing.
We've got to stop meeting like this. Seriously though, Sam, I'm working. Can't it wait? Just give me to 8, okay?
A jingle of coins, a handful of change to buy him a coffee, and a conversation.
Fine, Sam. Birmingham. Mercury took us to Birmingham. We didn't know what for. We never really know what for. But we turned up. It started with a girl, Ginny. She was South African. I only mention it because that was its thing. Yeah. We didn't know at the time, but in hindsight, it was after South African girls. 3 to be exact. The Traveller wanted 3. You should ask Bronwyn. She's the one that knows about rights. I just know it normally involves 3, and all 3 share a common attribute. I met him yesterday, doing the rounds, looking for reading work. Actually, he did mention Dorota. He said there was this girl he was planning to meet up with, Said she was alone every Monday night because her parents go to the cinema. Do you know what that means? It was Dorota Shaw. I guess you might call them demons, in as much as they can get inside us. They come from other worlds. Kind of, yeah. Quantum physics is real, didn't you know? There are many universes. In technical terms, a traveller is a trans-dimensional being far more superior to us, in as much as they can choose which reality to hang out in. We just get this one. Yes, disturbingly. It's actually a lot more complicated than that. They choose a reality/universe where they actually evolve to become the person they're possessing. So they jump in a few million years before our timelines intersect. They can't just jump into someone. It takes a few hours for that. They make the decision before they travel, which is why we can catch them. Yes, probably. The tarot doesn't just sat-nav us to normal murders.
She tore straight through his gut, pulling out his spine like an afterthought. I grabbed his gun and ran.
Sam, look, I can't talk right now. I'm doing phone readings. Gotta pay for a job somehow. Lexi's locked in till 8 too. I can sort you out afterwards, yeah?
Heads on smoke break told Jimmy that the Emma project had failed. Gene pattern was unstable or some such bullshit.
I'm Zach Weston, just sharpening my powers of persuasion.
To a halt before my eyes can adjust, the emergency lighting kicks in.
Zach! What are you doing here? Quick, don't let anyone see you.
Why don't you want anyone to see me? Are you happy, Dorota? Everyone's talking about Dorota.
I know. But I suppose people like that attract trouble.
People like... Is that why you killed her?
That's not funny, Zach. What if Sam heard?
Why don't you want anyone to see me? Why don't you...
What? You're the one who said we shouldn't be seen together. What are you doing here?
I wanted to make sure we were still okay.
What did you do? What did you say to Sam?
Are you happy Dorota's dead?
I didn't say that. But we both know what Dorota was like. She practically threw herself at you.
She didn't throw herself at... Why?
Don't play games with me, Zach. You know how insecure I get.
Now, what could the object have just handed to you?
Zach, let me stop you there. You are one creepy fellow. Now, I don't know what you had going on with Dorota, but I don't want anything to do with it. Do not come back here. Please.
Yes.
And there's a handle, and then
Yeah.
like a wooden bell with a large handle.
Yeah, it kind of looks like a non-functional wooden bell.
Yeah, but it's heavy, like really heavy.
Okay, I'm going to explain. The reason why...
Hello, I'm Violet. I'm Violet.
particular one has traces of the same limestone as the Great Sphinx of Giza. Well, that's what the...
Well, hello, gorgeous.
I came over last night, but you weren't here. Did you hear about Dorota?
Everyone in town's heard. She's a local celebrity now.
Luke, were you sleeping with her?
Violet? Of course not. I only have eyes for you.
That's not what I heard.
This again. I told you, I'm not seeing anyone else. I have gorgeous women in my studio all the time, but you're special. Not because you won't take off your clothes, I'm expecting that at some point. It's just, you're so clever and well educated. And the icing on the cake, you're the most beautiful woman I've ever met.
I came over last night, but you weren't here.
Well, that explains why there was no answer when I called you. I was definitely here.
For a moment, then turned into the narrow entrance. The young men looked strides, stepped into the road. The first time scared the shit out of me. Night after night, I dreamt of bloody, violent death. Twilight world where I hallucinated the deaths of those around me. So I did it. At night, I went down to the churchyard where the winos hung out. There was a good chance.
I'm Zach Weston. Just sharpening my powers of persuasion.
I suspect I survived because the beast wasn't ready to relinquish its host. I spent 7 weeks in a mental institution trying to rebuild my life, to find a way to live with the intolerable. Driven me to breaking point, the fear of discovery, or the endless replays in my head. So they loaded me up with antipsychotics, smothering my brain in cotton wool, and sat me in a corner while they decided their observations. Then they sent me back into the world with a letter of advisors. I was not connected with the police manhunt after the body was found. Maybe it's true that the devil looks after his own.
Hi, Hi, I'm Chief DuPont.
Try and keep as much control as I can. Out there, it's a chill night, and there's been rain, so I can keep the hood up on my park.
Hello. I know you. You're the police chief.
What type of photos do you take? I understand.
We met briefly, yes. I freelanced for the August Chronicle, and they did a story about her.
Was that the first time you met her?
As far as I know. I meet a lot of people through work. Some are more memorable than others. I happened to mention my portrait services, so she booked a session with me.
When was this?
A few weeks ago. For the paper. Record shots that any idiot with a phone can take. My studio is where the magic happens. Mainly portraiture, but I dabble in other areas.
Boudoir. Dirty pictures.
Sometimes, if that's what the client wants. Are you asking for yourself, or...?
It's for the case.
Of course.
Slobbers in anticipation.
Chief? Again?
Did Dorota have any on...
She didn't really use any social networks. Didn't have the time. Mainly just cello.
Go to any clubs or groups? Do you have access to her email?
No, she didn't email much. She checked the messages on her phone. What is it you're looking for?
Anything that...
Okay, that makes sense.
following me. That is good. I don't know how many the beast could take. I once watched it overwhelm 3 skinheads who thought I was their victim, and they were young, strong, and used to getting stuck in. It was worse the second time. I'd convinced myself I was over it, that I was okay, that I could live a normal life. Wrong. So wrong. At least I knew what to do when the dream started. I was able to prepare, get some clothes together, do a bit of reconnaissance. I couldn't count on being so lucky a second time. I had to cut myself off from any close relationships if I wanted to have any kind of worthwhile lifestyle. A steady girlfriend or a wife is out of the question.
It's 8 o'clock and time for another August update. Police investigating the death of 21-year-old Dorota Shaw have said there's no evidence to connect her boyfriend to the murder. Chief DuPont's statement was delivered in response to speculation from local residents that it was a crime of passion. Miss Shaw's strangled body was found by her mother around 10 p.m. last night in what the chief is calling a puzzling crime.
I can't believe people are gossiping already, Poe.
It's always the person closest to the victim, isn't that what they say?
But that poor boy. A reminder also that due to the murder, this weekend's Tulip Festival has been postponed. New dates will be announced soon. The weather's getting worse tonight with heavy rain forecast. So if you're heading out, you might want to take a jacket. Or a cab.
Or wear the jacket in the cab. That's 8 o'clock with Poe and Monroe. It's 8 o'clock and time for another